Welcome to episode 11 of Living Truthfully. My name is Amani Maranga, and I am so grateful and overwhelmed by you guys who are listening to this podcast. This is such an amazing journey that you're taking me to. I want to give a special shout out to Nzomo for all the decisions that you've shared with me that you've been making because of this podcast. Doris Mayoli, my goodness, what can I say? Such a support. Thank you so much for all the feedback you've been giving me. But I want to give a special shout out to Shirongige. What? Hey, you're such an influencer, and thank you for sharing my podcast. Makandi, all these people that are calling me, Mose again, all these guys that are calling me, I'm so grateful for the feedback that you're giving me. I want to encourage you to please share what your thoughts are, what this podcast is doing for you at Amani Maranga on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Twitter. And please share this podcast. Coming up on this episode.
It's like I didn't have ample time to think about it. I just found myself going with the flow. One thing led to another, and before you know it, there you are. You're married.
I feel I am at a place where I am now ready to be a man for someone else. I feel like I'm at a place where I'm ready to lay my life on the line for someone else.
Now, I'm in the middle of having a conversation about why men get married, and we're in the second last installment of this podcast. Today, I'll be talking to my boy Brayo, and I'll be talking to my other boy Martin, who's just about to get married. Then we will talk to Dr. Oscar. He'll be back on the next episode, and he'll be wrapping this up for us from a psychologist's perspective. So I don't know if you're ready, but if you're not, then you need to sit down, you need to settle, have your cup of tea, put on your headphones, and just relax, because you're about to figure out why men get married. Hi, bro.
Hey, hi, sema Amani.
I'm good, bro. How you doing, Olobana?
Salama, kazi tu.
But you know, you're one of the funniest guys I know, Bana.
Shukran.
I have good memories of what is that smell?
It is you.
It is you. So, bro, I'm doing this series on my podcast. Called Why Men Get Married.
Yes.
And I thought it would be an interesting conversation to have with you in your context right now. So I know your marriage ended, 4 years ago? Is it 4 or 5 years ago?
This year will be, I think, almost 6.
Oh, wow. 6 years. How are you doing first? Are you okay? Have you healed? Is your head above water? How are you doing?
I'm good. I moved on. Have a new family. Have a son.
Fantastic.
So the healing process is still ongoing. But I'm sour. I can't complain.
Very good. So I want us to go back to when you got married. If that's okay. Do you remember the year, the time, the environment in which you got married?
Those are things you can't say, Bana. I remember very well the kind of setup or scenario I found myself in. I think we were in the middle of, we used to go attend this marital classes, so to speak, in a church I used to go to. I don't want to mention the names for obvious reasons. And, being in that kind of environment, you meet lots of people, and you guys are going through the same classes, so to speak. You hit it off with someone, and before you know it, you're discussing marriage and what have you.
I have a question. Sorry, just because of what you mentioned. You said you were doing marital classes.
Yes.
Were they marital classes because you were already planning to get married, or were they something that was just done because you were at a stage or an age, like you didn't have to have been dating? What was the scenario for those marital classes?
No. Okay. You see, where I used to go to church, it was one of the many programs they had, and the marital classes were one of those. So you attend those knowing that in the foreseeable future,
yes,
you are looking to get married.
But were you
it wasn't
dating?
Something I was looking for immediately,
Yes.
but I was like, hey, this is
it's good information to have.
Or knowledge I want.
Yes.
If I'm to look to head in that direction. So it was kind of like being in the right place at the right time, so to speak. So yeah, I took those classes.
So both of you were doing this class?
Both of us were. It was in the same setting. Both of us met in that setting.
Okay.
Conversation start flowing, try to get to know each other. Yeah, so that's how things began.
At that time, when you now finally made the decision, I'm going to get married, are you able to enumerate the reasons you gave yourself for getting married?
Not quite. My case is I don't know if the correct term to use would be unique, because I found myself in a position whereby things were escalating or moving pretty fast. So before I know it, blah blah blah, you've met someone is interested in you. She's the one who initiated, and in my perspective, she kind of like had these thoughts in mind. She probably wants to get married and what have you. Like those ones of I've identified the guy. So you have those conversations of why not, let's give this thing a try and what have you. Before I know it, I found myself in a relationship. Suddenly there's marriage talk. Suddenly you've approached the spiritual guide, and it's like you have been given his blessing. You guys can do your thing. So things moved pretty fast. In hindsight, it's like I didn't have ample time to think about it. I just found myself going with the flow. One thing led to another, and before you know it, there you are. You're married.
So you said you found yourself in like things moved pretty quickly,
pretty fast, yeah.
And so you were just going with the flow.
I was going with the flow.
So do you feel like it was your decision?
To be honest, no. In one way or another, I felt like my hand was forced. Yeah, because if I wanted things to go the way I'd wanted them to, I would have taken a little bit more time. You get to know this person very well fast, and get to date quite for a while. Get to know each other better before now you jump the gun and make those kinds of decisions. Yeah.
Do you think that scenario contributed in any way to the ending of your marriage?
Of course. And I'd say for myself, for both of us, but ideally, I think we were getting into something we were ill prepared for, because we didn't have the full scope of what it entails to be in a marriage and what have you. I usually use this analogy like guys go to school for years to train for it. Probably you want to head in a certain direction career-wise. You go to school for years to prepare you for that. And I find it funny usually that guys who are looking to get married or entertaining that idea, you go for a 2-week or 3-week marriage counseling class and think that prepares you for what's going to come if you're going to jump into a marriage. So I'd say being ill prepared or not knowing what we are actually getting ourselves into. And by the time now we have gotten to the end of that road, I think we had seen probably about 4 different counselors.
Wow.
So for me, by the time it got to the end where I was being served with the divorce papers, it seemed like on her part she was looking for a specific answer or set of answers, probably to justify a decision she had probably already entertained or made. And since it wasn't forthcoming from either of those counselors, then she hit the exit button.
Hey, bro.
Yes.
I'm sorry for what you've gone through, man.
No, it's we live and we learn. It's something for me during those first few years after that happens, are the hardest. But I thank God I have a very supportive spiritual support from my pastor and his wife and a couple of other people who we normally meet every once in a while.
With a new family and with the decision to get into a new family now.
Yes.
What are the things that you considered differently, when making this choice, from the first time that you got married?
For me, it's a lot of things come into play because I remember even by the time I was meeting this person that I'm with now, it was we had met during that time when things were a bit rocky in that marriage, and she was very instrumental in always encouraging us to, go for counseling, to quit on this thing and try and make it work and what have you. For me, the marriage journey is ongoing. You still go for classes. You are still learning. My thoughts, my perceptions I'd say now are being upgraded to have a better understanding of what marriage is and what it is not, the different kinds of marriage that are there. And I'd say we are well on our path we are not there yet, but we are on the right path in that journey. So, like you said, in the beginning, it's a journey that never ends.
It's true. It's a journey that never ends. Do you feel like you're now in the place that you have chosen to be in?
Oh, yes. Tried and tested. We've been through ups and downs as any other marriage. And these are discussions from time to time we have. And I sit with her and ask, with all that's been happening or all that you've gone through, do you still feel you want to be a part of this thing, or just to check on where
the temperature
each of us are, where we are?
Yeah.
So if there's a problem here, how do we solve whatever problems you have? If it's beyond us, then now we can seek outside help. Guys who have gone before us, who are still part of the journey, yes, but have more experience. And they help put a lot of things in perspective and just get us guys back on track. So I'm in a very happy space. I'm happy where I am. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Wow.
And the journey continues.
Oh Lord, thank you so much for your candor. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad you're in a better space now. I'm so glad that you have this beautiful family, and I'm praying that God just makes this a redemption story for you, bro.
For me, my pleasure as well. I always say if you get an opportunities like this to share with the next generation of guys who are coming or who are looking to take this journey, so they have a holistic view or a better understanding of what they're getting themselves into. So I always jump in on opportunities like this to help the others who want to learn more or to learn from the mistakes us guys made and not repeat them.
I'm so glad you feel that, because it's very similar to why I'm doing this podcast. It's a way to just share our journeys so that they can be of use to whoever out there is listening. Although I don't take any more of your time. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
So God bless and take care, man. Thanks.
Okay, cheers, bro.
Hi, Martin.
Hey, Amani.
How you doing, man?
I am very well, man.
Dude, have you been listening to my podcast, by the way? Am I one of those guys who just... I hear there's a thing called blue ticking. Are you blue ticking my nini?
No, let me tell you, I blue tick, but then I make time to listen. So when you send, I don't necessarily listen to it immediately, but definitely within a day or two, I'll have found the time to listen.
Did I ever tell you, by the way, that a certain special lady did give me some feedback?
Yes, it was. You told me, and she also told me.
Oh, she did, eh? I
Yes.
I didn't know if I was outing her. And talking about her, Martin, you're getting married soon.
Yes, I am taking the plunge and learning a lot of things along the way.
Just to put some context, I mean, we've been friends for how long? Maybe 20 years? Possibly
20 some odd years, yeah.
20 some odd years. We've done business together. We've been friends, and we're age mates, and you're getting married now.
Yes.
And I want to ask you a question I asked another friend of mine. Why is it taking you so long, man?
Why is it taking this long? Well, in hindsight, I think I was going through a process with God, and He was getting me to a place where I can be the man He needs me to be for the woman He wanted me to be for. And I'm not talking about the one. I'm talking about a one. Difference is that I don't believe if the scripture says that things work out for the best for those who love Him. I don't think there is the one. I think there are people who are meant to help you in purpose, and if God has predestined it that way, you still have a choice. You have a choice to go His way, or you have a choice to go it your way. Your way is always the harder way. It might not seem that way going forward, but looking in hindsight, that's how it is. So I could have gotten married earlier. I don't know if it would have had the same results as what is about to happen to my life now. And it is all a walk of faith. From the day I proposed to her, from the day we chose the date, it's been all a walk of faith. And even the way I chose my was it a groomal party, whichever one.
The groomal party.
Yeah, that one. It's been a real walk of faith, and even at this point, it's very challenging. Especially now that I'm doing it when I'm older. Society has funny eyes on you and saying, aren't you too old? Isn't she too old? And all that. But if God has ordained it, it's never too late.
Wow. So we had this conversation. I think were we in your car? I can't. I just remember it being at my parking lot, and asking you, why are you getting married? And then
we've had that conversation.
And then twice, we had like a back and forth about it.
Yes.
So
we did.
So I guess this is the time it's coming to head. It might be a little bit late, in terms of a little bit late, but
yeah.
But I don't know. Have you been able to articulate why you're getting married?
Yes, I have. I feel it's a purpose decision.
Okay.
In where my life is going. I feel I am at a place where I am now ready to be a man for someone else. I feel like I'm at a place where I'm ready to lay my life on the line for someone else.
Yes.
And I think that's what marriage is about. When you find that woman that you can die for, and that's not necessarily physically, but also on many other aspects, where you take a back seat, but together as a team, you grow in keeping each other number one. And that's of course secondary to God. And find that someone who is able to bring you closer to God, and that's how the two of you are getting closer to each other. So why I am getting married, I always thought was for companionship, which is still key for me. I always felt that I needed to get married to my friend, which of course for me was very the paradox of people saying, no, because you're in the friend zone, then you can't have a relationship with this person.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, that is the person you need to be having a more intimate relationship with. Because if you're not marrying your best friend, then you're getting married to wife material. You're not getting married to a wife. You're marrying them for what they bring to the table, in the sense of, can they cook? Do they look good in a certain type of clothing?
That's
yeah. So I was looking for a good wife, and what then I did was I made myself a good man, and was running my race as a good man, and I found a companion on that journey, and I feel like I also bring out the best in her, and that's number one why I want to get married, because I want to share that intimate journey of life with this woman, and everything else that comes with marriage. If it comes, it's a gift, but the one thing I know I wanted was a companion, somebody to do life with, and be completely vulnerable with, and that's my reason.
Wow. Hey, the day is nearing. How are you feeling?
Hey, you guy. Sometimes I look at it, I'm like, hey, is it that there was a clause somewhere that there's no way this whole wedding story can be easy. And you hear from other people, no, this is the biggest test you're going to have. You don't know what it is until you're in there, you know? Like, this is your first project together.
Yeah.
You guys are going to face challenges. It's going to push you in as far as your leadership as a man is concerned. It's going to push you in as far as living and cleaving is concerned. And all these are theories until you're in it. And now I'm smack in the middle of it, but I'm so looking forward, you guy. Yani, all these pressures on that day, it's for just leaving them on the dance floor.
And I'm trying to get my fitness on so that we can dance together on the day.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to. I gotta.
You gotta. You know, you're the one who's leading that process. So
I know. Bro, I'm looking forward to your wedding day. I'm looking forward to an amazing experience, an amazing celebration of love.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to just, watching you blossom in this marriage, you and that special lady.
Thank you so much for that, and I'm glad you're taking the journey with me.
And thank you for having this convo with me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, bro.
Yeah, so keep listening, keep giving me your thoughts, and
for sure.
I really value the friendship that we have, bro.
As I do.
Thank you so much, Martin, and thank you so much, Brayo, for your candor. Thank you for sharing your reasons for why men get married. I don't know what you're learning, but isn't it amazing just how different we are and how we make these decisions for getting married? And I want to talk to a psychologist about this. So Dr. Oscar is going to be coming, and he's going to be talking to us from a psychologist's perspective. What are the things that men consider when they're getting married? And I can't wait to share that with you. But on the next season or the next series of this podcast, I'm going to be talking to guys who have not gotten married yet and are within that marriage age. And they're going to be telling us why they're still single. What are their barriers? What are they considering? What has stopped them from getting married? Is it true that there are not enough many men out there? Or are you chicks just being difficult? So hit me up on social media at Amani Maranga if you have your reason why you're still single as a dude, yet you think this is the time you should have gotten married. And let's start this conversation. Thank you for listening to Living Truthfully.